I'm going to show you the ugly side of this Bitcoin price action right now, and I want you to take it with a grain of salt. It's not necessarily actually this bad, but it is my job to consider all possibilities. And the fact is that because Bitcoin has dropped down this low, we have upset a lot of things that were actually going pretty well for Bitcoin, and I want to break them down for you in this video. But the first thing to cover is, what is the possibility of a recovery? That's the first thing that we want to talk about. And what we need to understand about recoveries, especially after big drops down, and especially after sharp drops down, is that recoveries must come quickly. Okay, there's this really interesting piece of data from the FBI, which is that when they're doing hostage negotiations, what they found is that if they don't recover the hostage in the first 72 hours, the likelihood of them ever getting that hostage is pretty low. Quite a not nice discussion to have, to be honest. But somehow the same thing applies here. If you don't recover within the first 72, 40 to 48, 24 hours, you're probably not going to recover. That's just how it's been for Bitcoin for an incredibly long period of time. And that's probably going to be how it stays. And we know why, by the way. This YouTube channel, what we're going for is understanding the deep parts of the analysis. The VIP channel, understanding the deep parts of trading, right? That's what I'm trying to bring to you guys, what I'm trying to put on the table here. And we know why this happens. It's simply because when there's a big crash, a window of opportunity opens where the bulls can seize it. If they are able, they can seize it. And if they don't, a crash like this will happen, and you'll just kind of sideways and fluster a little bit, and then you'll lose it. And you might pump up a little bit, but you'll still lose it. Okay? But when we have real recoveries, these recoveries tend to come in quickly. And I'm not just talking about these instances. Look at every single bottom the market has produced. It's very, very frequent. The real lows, the lows that we don't visit for a bit, like the lows that actually stick, these lows are set quickly. You know, we don't just kind of trade sideways and do this particularly often. It's usually going to look a little bit more like this. Even at tops, it's usually going to look a little bit more like this, right? And that's just because we're getting, that's because a lot of buyers or a lot of sellers are stepping at these price levels. So the window of opportunity for Bitcoin is basically closing now. We've had the dump down, and we did get the recovery. It did come up here, but we're sliding back down now. This is very typical, kind of price action that's just going to chop like this and then probably end up dropping down. So that's really important. We're interested in what is that window of opportunity for the bulls. It's basically gone, bro. That is the reality of what we're dealing with right now. It needs to be quick, and we haven't done it yet. So we still have time. One of the things that I think is important to look at is the weekly chart. If we take a look at the weekly chart right here, it's really not that bad. It's more of what I was saying in terms of probably just a sideways range. I still think that's quite likely, way more likely than other people are saying, because it's kind of the thing that makes most sense for me, at least for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin just kind of punishes us and is boring, and sideways kind of makes sense for that. But weekly time frame, not as bad, but we're basically out of time. It's a Friday. This chart, guys, this video is going to go from bad to worse in terms of in terms of the forecast of the analysis here. We have potentially formed a double top here, and double tops are not good for Bitcoin. Double tops are really bad for Bitcoin. Here are the last two double tops that we dealt with. This one back in 2019 resulted in a 66% crash within 230 days. This one from 2021 resulted in a 77% crash across more than 1 year. So double tops like this are not good, and we've actually gone ahead and kind of failed an uptrend line as well. We've had these beautiful uptrend lines over these last few years, and when we broke them, bad things did follow. We had this uptrend line right here, minus 65%. We had this big uptrend line right here, minus 53%. This is when we lose the line. We had another one right here, that's a big minus 70%. This line very much fits in with the rest of them, as far as I'm concerned. It's across a large time frame. It's across a large space, meaning the price went up by quite a bit. It has all of the same characteristics as these previous lines. And if we're looking at something like what we saw previously, this could get pretty ugly. I wanna show you a few of these figures here. We've got minus 53, minus 70, minus 65. If we look at a minus 53% drop from when we lost this trend line, that does put us over here at $14,000. So some quite low targets here. And again, you know, like while you're starting to like really starting to worry here now, you know, this is where I'm going to step in and be like, actually, well, first of all, we were down there, you know, only a few months ago. Not a few months ago now. Damn, it's August, yo. What the fuck? It's August. We're 8 months into this year. You know, but 8 months ago, I guess we were down there anyway. You know, and it just means that there's a lot of trading opportunities on the way available for us. I'm still in my long trade. I've been in my long trade since 21,500. I've secured over $140,000 in profit on this trade, and I only put in like 100 or 110, so I've more than doubled my money. Absolutely phenomenal performance here. And I made this trade on Bybit. The thing that's really cool about Bybit right now, which you can join by linking by the link in the description, is that if you're a new trader and you lose money, they're actually going to refund up to $100 of that and give you that as a copy trading voucher, which is really cool. So you can go ahead and copy somebody else on Bybit. It literally just does the trades for you, and you have up to $100 free for that. And of course, you're still getting up to $30,000 in free fucking cash, just free money to trade with, which you're going to get when you deposit and start trading using my link down below. bcash over here, potentially even more interesting because they allow you to trade traditional finance, stocks, Forex, indices, commodities. You can trade Tesla and Apple on leverage just with Bitcoin. It's crazy. No KYC, over 100K in bonuses. These are some of the craziest offers I've ever seen. Definitely take advantage of them if you haven't done so already. Today's your day. Definitely do take advantage of that. But this is what we're dealing with, guys. We're dealing with a situation now where, you know, we have kind of walked ourselves into a situation that we've been in before, you know, and if we look at doing something similar, yeah, minus 53% does put us down at 14K, and if we go for that bigger drop, the minus 70% puts us down at 9. So, you know, I guess, you know, on the bright side, you know, these are numbers that, you know, we've been at before and that we know the market kind of should return to. I mean, I don't want to say the market should return to these levels, but what's very clear, at least from what I've seen, is that there's a good reason to return to those levels, right? Like a lot of good things would happen if we fall down there. Not going to get too deep into it. It's basically just that, you know, we flush out, you know, a lot of things. There's CME gaps, and, you know, it's just, they're good areas of support. They're good retracement levels. They're good kind of complete, how do I say, cleanse levels of the market, so to speak. You know, so there's some good here, but for the most part, yeah, we don't want to see it dropping down that low. And I'm only pointing this out to you guys because this is kind of what we've been dealing with in the past, and so it's worth kind of keeping an eye on this kind of thing as we continue to go on. Do I think we're going to do this? No, I still don't. I still don't have a reason to really just expect that this whole thing is now super bearish. I just don't. You know, if we refresh the 4Flies dashboard here, unfortunately the fear and greed index hasn't actually updated yet because it only updates once per day, but that's going to happen in the next kind of 4 or 5 hours. And guys, you know, I mean, look, it's a very low fear and greed rating right now. We might even be lower tomorrow. You're going to know this depending on when you watch this video. You know, the fear and greed index is pretty low right now. People are pretty bearish. People are pretty scared. You know, and one thing that I think is worth noting is, you know, well, first of all, I think if we actually just go ahead and look at like the 16th of June on the fear and greed index, this is really gonna put things into perspective for us. Let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. The 16th of June was about over here. Yeah, about over here. We had a reading of 41. Okay, so the last time we were down at these price levels, even lower, you know, we were more optimistic. So you know, and I just don't think that the market is in a worse position now. You know, the market, if anything, has trended up from 17K up to 30, and it's just had so much time to just kind of correct and to absorb resistance and so on. So, you know, like, I'm really not too worried about it from that perspective. I think that, you know, given where we are and given where sentiment is, people are more scared now, you know, and that is a good thing if you are bullish. You know, one thing that I just can't get past right now, and I won't until the market tells me to, until the charts tell me to. I'm not going to pay attention to what all these shit munching Twitter, you know, crypto guys were talking about, or whatever the fuck, like anywhere on Telegram or Discord. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in what the actual chart is telling me. And chart is telling me that, yeah, we really struggled at 30K. Yeah, that's true. We also have phenomenal support at 25. Yeah, it's continued to hold, you know, and in light of those things, I mean, you know, it's not there yet. It's not as bad as people are making out. The last time we had a 37 rating on the Fear and Greed Index wasn't even in the last 3 months. Look at this. It was probably like back here. The last time we were this low, it was the 12th of March. What happened on the 12th of March? It was this. You know what I mean? Like, and this like led into one of the biggest opportunities in the market of this year. You know? So I don't want you to get swept away in that, because everybody and their fucking nan was extremely bearish and scared of Bitcoin at this time. And what did I do? Your boy went long. You know what I mean? Like, this is not the time to get in a fucking circle and hold your friend's hand and panic about the market. This is a time to step back, calm down, breathe, relax, look at the chart, look at it with as fresh of a perspective as you can bring. Have we lost critical areas of support? Have we broken the trend of higher lows? The answer to both of those questions is no. They're important facts to consider. We might break this 25K level tomorrow, and then everything will change, because we won't have good support until we drop down to about 22.5, depending on your perspective. So yeah, you know, things are going to be a little bit different there. But right now, it hasn't happened, and everyone's acting like we're already down to 20K. But let's talk about that for a second, because this is where it does get a bit more crazy. I was talking to you guys about these double tops and how they've been pretty disastrous for Bitcoin. Yeah, we've got another one here. That's definitely some cause for concern. And what's interesting about these double tops is that on both occasions over these last two double tops, when Bitcoin bottomed out, it actually bottomed out with the candle here at the 786 Fibonacci level. The 786 Fibonacci level, which means from here to here, if you draw down 78%, you end up over here. So the same thing happened to the previous one as well right here. From this top coming down to 786, we actually came quite a bit lower than that, granted, but you know, what we did see overall is a lot of consolidation around this level, a lot of support. It's an important level. You know, this is where some shit went down. The 618 level, also very important. We found support off this level, and then we found resistance too. Now, if we're looking at the same thing happening right now to Bitcoin, then that puts us at some pretty interesting levels. If we go down to that 618 level, we're at 21.8. 21.5, you know, has been my level, so just a little bit lower than that. This green box shows it perfectly. 21.5 is a level that we know about and that we've seen quite a bit. And the 786 level, that puts us down at about $18,000, $19,000. And this also isn't a horrible place to go down to. I've been very vocal about this for a long time. There was a lot of support right here, and there was a nice rejection hit as well that really validates the line. You know, the line is validated here because we bounced off it so many times, but it's even more validated. It's even more of a big deal if you also use the same level as resistance, which is what we did. So 786 level floating around here, also looking like an important level for this market. These are big bounce zones that we need to keep an eye on. 21.5 up to 22.5 and about 19K. These are two of the big bounce zones that Bitcoin has, where if disaster does strike again, I am quite confident that the dumps will stop at one of these two levels. You know, and obviously when that happens, obviously you'll be subscribed, so you'll know exactly what's up. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'll tell you what I'm seeing. You know, but for now, those are the kind of two levels that I think we've got to play with here in this market, and I don't think they're too bad. Both of them would serve as a pretty good flush for the market. You know, in either case, I don't necessarily think we have to go deep into the teens. I think that even if we do go down to $19,000, we could definitely just basically pull off something that starts looking a little bit more like this, you know, because I just don't think that, you know, this is like doomsday like everybody else is making out. I'm just not seeing that. I'm just not. You know, I don't think that traditional finance looks that bad. You know, I think that traditional finance obviously needs to pull back, and I spoke about this with you in my previous videos. So shout out to those of you that have been showing love, hitting up those likes, subscribing, hit the bell, and all that good stuff. I do appreciate it very much. You've seen that, and you heard what I was talking about over there. You know, and I do think that there is some more kind of downside for traditional finance, just because we're still far away from support. We need to come a little bit lower to capture some support. You know, but I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's like, you know, a $10,000 Bitcoin, $9,000 Bitcoin bad. I just don't think we're there yet. And what I really think, to be honest, guys, is if we poll, you know, and if we look at what everybody thinks, I think we're going to see the vast majority of people saying that we're going kind of 20K and lower. You know, and when everybody's so certain about it, you know what I mean? Like we're kind of at one of those stages right now. I don't know. I am guessing, you know, but this is based off everything I'm reading. You know, the sentiments that I'm collecting and so on. I'd love to get some actual numbers on this, but you know, it does feel like it's almost a given. You know, a lot of people are in agreement now that we are dropping much lower, and it just never happens that way. You know, I mean, I don't know. You want to think it happens that way because it's convenient and it's easy for your brain to process, but that's just not how the market moves, in my experience, anyway. You know, after being in these markets now for over 6 years. Wow, over 6 years. That's crazy. That is crazy. Guys, I want to give a quick shout out to my Twitter page. Definitely check it out if you haven't done so already. It is linked right here in the description. You're getting a lot of beautiful shit posting from me. So if you like me, you're going to like my Twitter. Same for the Instagram as well. There's way more shit posting on the Instagram. That's shit post central, obviously. And of course, yeah, while you are down there, definitely do take advantage of these huge offers. Like I said, over 200K in bonuses, just over 100K just on BingX. No KYC, traditional finance. You can trade stocks like Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Meta, all with leverage. Super cool. Well worth taking a look at. And then I guess the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is just this shorter term price action. You know, if we zoom in and we look a little bit closer at this price action right here, we're just slowly kind of grinding down here. You know, these kind of moves, they happen so many ways. They happen a little bit like this, and then, you know, second legs takes us down. They happen a little bit like this, and then, you know, range, and then it's just like whatever. You know, this is where you stop paying attention, somewhere in this circle, and then the market does something like this, or even, you know, has the weird bot pattern up. We can't rule these things out. You know, and the reason that we can't rule out the possibility of a BART pattern or just some other like fuckery in the market that takes us back up, the reason we can't rule this out is because open interest dropped. And I don't have the chart in front of me right now, but it was, hang on, I need to get this. I need to get the actual like writing, because it was very crazy. Like if you actually look at the data, 25% or 2.5 billion was wiped out, with the most significant, and this was the most significant wipeout of open interest in the last year and a half. Okay, and this is happening at a time where there's no fucking liquidity. This is happening at a time where nobody is here, nobody is trading, nobody's looking at the markets. You're here, you're diehard, you're with me, we're chilling, but no one's actually here. Yet we've still had one of the biggest wipeouts in the last year and a half. A year and a half ago was the beginning of 2022. Okay, so that was like the really crazy shit when things started to really sour, like back here. We had a lot of big kind of liquidation events around here, obviously, just on this big drop. I'm sorry, I'm not showing you this right here. This is what I'm trying to show you back here. This was like the last time that we did something as big, and that's important, because there's just not that much trading happening here, obviously. Yet we're still wiping out that many longs, because they are longs that are closing. It's obvious. You know, if open interest drops, what is, you might not know what it is, but open interest, basically, like I said in the previous video, is just a representation of how many positions are open in the market. So if that number drops, that means there are less positions open in the market. And if the price drops and there are less positions in the market, then it can only mean that longs were closed. Right? If that still doesn't make sense to you, then just take my word for it. It's just mechanical. That's how it works. And you know, so it's very clearly telling us that a lot of longs have closed here. And I think at the same time, what that means and why it's so significant is that, like, we're only down to 25K. You know, like, we didn't drop down to 20 or 15. Like, we only fell down to 25k. We only fell down to like the strongest fucking area of support that Bitcoin has within this range, you know, and we didn't lose it. And the longs were cleared out. The market has been flushed out and reset. You know, it's a good thing. That's exactly what we're looking for. Let's see, this is still very, very high. Again, I don't know if this is updated or not, but we have a lot of longs on Binance right now. Definitely concerning. This is interesting. Top traders on Binance have now closed out much of their long positions as well. Like I said, I did the same thing. I shared this post inside of VIP, and then I also forwarded it into gold, where I moved my stop loss up to a minimum profit of 144%, and I closed more profit at 219%, and obviously this is after closing profit way higher. So it was beautiful execution. I'm super happy with the massive results. You know, and that is very cool indeed. Obviously this is, you know, this is what you get inside of VIP. I'm just telling you guys what I'm trading and stuff like that. So if you want to go check it out, that's with these links right here on screen. And with that, guys, I am going to be wrapping it up here. I really hope you have enjoyed it. It's been, you know, look, we gotta look at the dark sides. You know, you can clearly tell that I'm just not that worried. I'm never worried. I'm always chilling, but you know, you can tell that this dump really hasn't gotten to me the way it's gotten to other people. I don't know, maybe I'm just not seeing something, you know, but maybe people are overreacting. And that's just usually what happens. So, you know, that's why I'm reminding you that that is usually what happens. Usually people just overreact. That's just how the markets go. And when we step back and put things in perspective a little bit, it really helps, you know, to unplug yourself from the stuff. That's why I say group chats for trading are stupid. You don't need to discuss trading with anybody. You don't need to discuss analysis with anybody. Trust me, you do not need to do that stuff. You need to be a good analyst yourself, and you only achieve that by working at it and by studying it, not by conversing with other people. You don't need to talk to anyone for this kind of thing. You know, you can do it by courses and so on, books, whatever you like. You know, but you certainly don't need you know, 500 different people giving you their opinions on the market, especially when, you know, when it happens on Twitter or Discord. You know, it becomes like a thing about clout, right? Like, it's like, whose voice is respective? Okay, we'll talk to that guy. You know, we'll listen to that guy. And what happens in these kind of discussion social media channels is that if you have an opposing view, it doesn't really, especially on Discord groups, it's interesting how this, you can't really disagree with the guy, you know. And it's just one of the big reasons that these group chats, these, you know, communities are not good for traders. You know, if you want to get in a fucking circle and jerk each other off, then, you know, be my guest. I don't fucking care. But, you know, I mean, if you actually want to make money and stuff like that, then trading is a solo grind. It is a lonely road. And that's just how it is. It's just a fact of the markets. You know, one thing you need to keep in mind is that you don't hear about all the good traders. You know, like, you don't know their names. They don't really like say anything. Yeah, there's a few on Twitter, there's a few on YouTube and stuff like that, but you don't really like know them. And that's because they're quiet. You know, that's because they're alone. They're doing this on their own. And that's what works. So I do want to leave you with that really important note. I know it's probably not what you wanted to hear, but that doesn't change the truth, does it? Alright guys, thank you all very much for watching. Do me a favor, smash up those likes, subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. Get your bonuses, legends. These are absolutely huge. Bybit remains the best exchange in the space as far as I'm concerned. Up to $30,000 in bonuses, a refund on your first $100 of losses too, which is fucking crazy. Check it all out with the link in the description down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.